Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Got a positive piece for you here today. And this is from You Today, and this one's titled, Ripple and MoneyMatch Join Forces to Help Customers Avoid Costly Bank Transfers. And it stems from this release from Ripple, and it's... They actually have a video clip citing the CEO of MoneyMatch. And so I want to share with you a quote or two from him, as well as some of the specifics in this particular piece. And then I have something unrelated I'd like to share with you. This one's titled, Boomers Finally Warming Up to Bitcoin After Staying on Sidelines for Years. Unrelated, but it's something that I found fascinating. I think you will enjoy hearing as well. But before we go any further, if you would please delicately tap the like button. Please know that I would be eternally grateful. It helps with the YouTube algorithm, which means betterness for the Moon Lambo channel. So if you're willing to do that, thank you very much. Unless you completely hate everything, in which case you can go ahead and you can smash the dislike button. That one I'm okay with you beating the hell out of, but I want to make sure that the like button stays in commission, so if you could delicately tap that one if you're going to go there. But if you want to dislike, just smash that bitch if you want to. And also go ahead and subscribe to the Moon Lambo channel, because if you do, all of your wildest dreams will come true. Vote for Pedro. So look at this from Ripple, MoneyMatch. MoneyMatch and Ripple make it cheaper and faster for Malaysian SMEs to pay global suppliers. SMEs, that'd be small and medium enterprises. I want to jump down to this quote before jumping into to this specific piece, because I think it's a good way to start things out here. So here's a quote from Adrian Yap, who is the CEO and co-founder of MoneyMatch, which is, of course, partnered with Ripple. After joining RippleNet, we became a credible partner for financial institutions all over the world. That helped us cut transfer costs by as much as 40% and settle cross-border payments in just a few hours. Now into the piece from You Today. Malaysian-based payments operator MoneyMatch has joined RippleNet to expand its cross-border payments for entities to over 100 countries around the world. They seem to be growing quickly, opening all these corridors. I'm talking about MoneyMatch here specifically. And I've said this before, and I'm happy to say it again. Those companies that jump on board with Ripple's technology, given that it is genuinely, truly disruptive in a positive sense, it betters the legacy financial system. Those entities, those banks, remittance companies, whatever they are, these financial institutions that join RippleNet, they are absolutely going to have a leg up over the competition. And so good luck competing if you don't ultimately figure this out. Here's a tweet from MoneyMatch, and they wrote as follows. We at MoneyMatch would like to serve our customers with your best interests in mind. And that's why we have joined RippleNet to serve you by assisting global transfers seamlessly in the fastest and most cost-effective way. See, some entities out there are forward-thinking, and the ones that lag behind, fine, lag all you want, but eventually you're going to have no choice if you want to compete. In a video published on the Ripple website, the founder and CEO of MoneyMatch, Adrian Yap, stated that the partnership with Ripple was a pivotal point in his fintech company's history. RippleNet allows them to greatly expand their list of destination countries for transfers made by SME and individuals from Malaysia. Mr. Yap also mentioned that Ripple has helped them build corridors to over 100 actually countries, thus increasing volumes for MoneyMatch. See, and none of this would be happening for this company if not for Ripple. The company's founder also shared that joining RippleNet and working through its corridors has brought down costs for the company about 40%. And I've talked about this before too. See, this is the reason that Ripple, ultimately, what they're doing, they're a force for good. They're going to help some of the poorest people on the planet, because even if initially, the way competitive industries work, even if initially there are only a few utilizing the technology and padding their margins, if they are fine, super duper, they found a cool technology and they're making their company profitable. But as more companies adopt this technology, those margins will get squeezed. This is just how it works in industry. Anytime there's a new technology, there not many people adopting it. Those that adopt it first, they can see some fat margins, and then you see them diminished over time. This is a well understood concept. And so even if you're not seeing a ton of that right now, and there is evidence, I've cited pieces, here and there where there is evidence that customers are seeing some better prices in some corridors for certain entities, I think that you're going to see a dramatic reduction over time. as there's eventually, ultimately, just a new normal in terms of price action here. Now, for the remittance companies and banks, they still have to maintain their certain margin. So it's not that goes away. It doesn't mean that these companies are going to make less money. They're probably going to ultimately, after experiencing these fat margins in the short term, they're ultimately going to make more or less the same money. But because the costs are reduced, that's able to be passed along to the customer. All right. Now, Mr. Yap admitted that for sending client money to Europe, they have worked with other companies such as Swift, which is Ripple's major rival. But this conventional method takes about 2 days to wire the money. With Ripple, he said that amount was cut down to just 5 hours. And there will be no need for Swift the more, I'll tell you this. Once Ripple's sufficiently built out, there's not going to be a compelling case to be using Swift for pretty much anything. It would be more like those that are laggards and are within that particular framework. They'll be the ones that are most likely to hang on until Swift's dying last breath. And to be honest, I'm being a little hyperbolic there, but I don't know for sure that Swift's ever going to necessarily 100% go away, but its actual usage is going to be greatly diminished, in particular in terms of settlement, and those corridors that are most exotic are certainly going to be hit first, I think. That's certainly what I suspect. Into the next piece now. Boomers finally warming up to Bitcoin after staying on sidelines for years. Excuse me. River Financial, a Bitcoin bank that targets investors over 55, has seen an 80% increase in transaction volume since March, Bloomberg reports. The company's CEO, Alex Leishman, attributes this growth to the Federal Reserve's massive stimulus effort that sparked inflation fears. And here's a quote. "The surging activity we've seen since the beginning of 2020 has been in part inspired by the Federal Reserve's unprecedented monetary intervention." And so, it's not surprising that would affect for a number of people the way, it can shake confidence, obviously, and it can change the way in which people invest as a result of it. And so they have this subheading here, then, yes to boomers. River, which recently bagged $5.7 million in seed funding, operates like a conventional bank to be approachable for older clients that usually choose not to touch the newfangled asset. I love that. Look at that. It's newfangled. I don't even like that old-fangled stuff, man. Don't get to go with that newfangled, man. I don't know about that. But they wouldn't touch the newfangled asset with a 10-foot pole, according to a 2019 YouGov poll. Only 29% of baby boomers, the generation of Americans born between 1946 and 1964, believe that crypto will be widely accepted in the 2020s. And I'm happy to share a little interesting stat about my channel. And I have mentioned this a couple other times, but it's been probably over half a year, if I had to guess, since this came up for any other reason. So most of you probably don't know. But as far as my channel, I'm happy to be transparent to a certain degree. YouTube collects information on all of you watching, and I don't get any sort of specific information about individuals. I hope nobody would have even thought that. Just citing that to be safe. But just demographic information is collected and reported to me along with every other YouTuber that runs a channel. And what's fascinating is that my channel, and mind you, I'm 37, so I'm not that young, I'm not that old, but I guess it's a little over 2/3 of the people that listen to the Moon Lambo channel are 36 years of age or older. So again, over 2/3 are my age or older, effectively, which is fascinating. So you're talking people in their mid to late 30s, and then 40s, 50s, 60s, and some in the 70s even, and some a little bit older, but mostly around there. Mostly like, if you're talking like 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, yeah, that's most of the people that are actually listening to this channel. And before having that data, I certainly would have guessed that it would have been younger people just not knowing any better, because it seems, obviously this technology, let's be real, it's newfangled, right? And if it's newfangled, it's got to be the youngins out there, right? It turns out not to be the case. And I wonder if that would be different if it were more of like a Bitcoin-centric channel. I'm not sure. I don't know if this is just more so where the adults gravitate because there's an actual use case, and maybe people that are older and wiser understand that. That's just speculation. That could be it. I don't know. Because I'm not here for ideological or emotional reasons, and I think that most of you aren't. Probably just about all of you are kind of going to fall in that same camp. Whereas with the Bitcoin tribe, that's a lot of ideology, and it comes along with that, a lot of the tribalism. So it was just kind of interesting, though, to be, because you're on the cutting edge here, and it's certainly the case that there are all sorts of baby boomers that are listening to this channel specifically, and you can tell me if you find it intimidating to deal with the newfangled technology. I just kind of got a kick out of it, but no, it really is adults that are here, and, you know, as silly and ridiculous. I mean, look, I have serious content, but it's just my personality. Like, I'm a silly type of dude, a little bit of a dork, whatever. I don't care. I'm just going to be me on the channel. But despite that, there is actual content to be had here, and so adults are still listening. So take that for what it's worth. That's why it's so funny to see an article like this where they're just like, they're like just so amazingly surprised that these baby boomers, oh my God, investing. Well, I think that they're more in the know than you might give them credit for here. It's really more so the case that most people on the planet don't know about crypto and just aren't involved in any capacity, and even fewer are involved in altcoins like XRP specifically here. But anyway, you can take that for what it's worth. I just thought it was kind of interesting, so I shared it with you. But that is it for this video. I am not a financial advisor. I'm just a simple XRP bot. Beep, boop, beep. Do not buy or sell anything, because if anything that I say or write, that would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.